Dollar. Dirt on money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yep, what's good, original crew, man? We're back. Another Nick Crowley. We have Pipergate, a YouTube rabbit hole. Man, Nick always going down some type of rabbit hole with these videos that we just don't know where it ends. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, before we get into it today, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go, man. You want to first support? All you have to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals,
like it with a thumbs up.
All right, before we get, not before. Dang. Hey, don't stop hitting that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Y'all done slowed up and slacked off ever since we beat the goal. It's goals after goals after goals. The goals don't stop till we hit that 100 plat. And we get you see it back there.
That what plat?
I mean, why I say that 100? We already got the 100 plat. Until we hit that million plat, that gold plat. Until that gold plaque is back there. Even after that, the goals don't ever stop. So y'all go ahead, keep smashing, man. 300K, we trying to hit that by the end of the year. Is it possible, C?
I think it's possible. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. You know about that? Wow, you living on the rock. Anything is possible. You don't know that? Y'all, fill it in the comments. Those who do, it's a lot of y'all don't though. Or just look. Go to YouTube. And, what?
Is this a person?
Yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna show you real quick.
I guess, child.
Hold on.
Anything's possible.
That's my boy.
How you didn't know that, see?
I wouldn't think he was talking about Kevin.
If you know, you know, man. But let's go. Let's check it out. Let's see what's about.
Is everybody having a good time tonight? This is for you.
Extremely disturbing and bizarre channel. Notice the end of the videos. It's sick. Also the comments. I think it's huge. This was posted to Reddit back in December of 2020, along with a link to a channel known as Piper Rocks, a page seemingly run by a young girl who used the account to showcase her video editing skills. It was a premise that admittedly sounded both innocent and mundane. Only there was something strange about the child who went by Piper. Her edits were bizarre, violent, and most of all, highly perverted, despite Piper being just a kid. It didn't take a trained eye to notice that something appeared very wrong with this account and its owner. But just how wrong it really was is something that maybe I wasn't prepared to discover, because the Piper Rocks channel was really just a scratch on the surface of a decades-old internet mystery and the beginning of a rabbit hole that takes us deeper than we've ever gone before. The original Reddit post didn't offer much in the way of context to this mysterious channel, but in the comments beneath it, a user would share that they had found a similar account that was associated with Piper Rocks, as it featured the same distinct style of editing, along with the pages literally linking to each other. The second channel was called Isabel Piper, and in the year 2018, the young girl would post interchangeably across both accounts, and she did so at a very consistent rate until 2019 when she would abandon the two pages. Not much was known about the supposed girl running the channel, but throughout her uploads she would sprinkle in minor details about herself, at one point saying, "Please sub, I'm 10 years old and I make special effects." Something she was very adamant about across her page, as she was never trying to hide the fact that she was just a kid, essentially using the page to practice with her video editing, which would usually be something that's far from noteworthy, had it not been for the actual contents of her videos.
I would love it if you subscribe to my channel and give this video a big thumbs up for more awesome videos just like this one.
The videos unfold in a meme-like format, with clips being thrown together in jarring and odd ways, and with each video bearing little similarity to the next. That is, minus the appearance of Piper herself, as well as a constant and disturbing air of sexualization. Some videos showcase crude humor that you would expect from a fully grown adult, and others feature much more disturbing edits. It was strange to say the least, but to solidify the feeling that something was in fact very wrong with this channel, one could simply look at the outro that she had adopted not long after starting her uploads. It's something that I'm choosing not to show you, and something that I don't suggest you seek out either, as essentially it's a revealing upward shot of a young girl wearing a small skirt, and though it doesn't quite qualify as CP, the suggestiveness of it is undeniable, as clearly it was meant to be sexual. And that is exactly how Piper's audience would perceive it. Commenters would say things like, "I love you, what's your Snapchat? LOL, you did it. You need some more booty shaking, but it was still good." And estoy enamorado, contactimonos, which although I definitely butchered, translates to, "I'm in love, let's get in touch."
Do you think this is really... At this point, from the situation that happened back home, I don't know what be in the mind of these kids nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
For some reason, I don't feel like it's her and her alone. I feel like maybe
somebody
it's
using
like someone
her
behind the scenes, but she's the face. But I could be wrong.
Well, because
But I just
you get what I mean,
like
though.
A 10-year-old child, even the editing style, the things that are like in the videos, like just the whole dynamic of the video. I just no.
Because if she was 12 at what 20, I don't. When did she start? I know it said she disappeared 2019.
Yeah, and
But
then the videos
like
that he keeps.
10.
Yeah, she 10.
She would still be a minor today. That's 5 years ago. 15. You know, at the most, 17? If I'm like, I don't know, like if he meant she was 10 when she started and how long it lasted.
Yeah.
That part, but that's sick, man. Let's go.
And it's this comment that to me proved to be the most concerning, as Piper would actually respond by saying, "Thank you for watching, how old are you?" To which the man simply says, 19, and you? Piper then says, "I am 11, leading to the conversation's end, with the commenter stating, "En el amor no hay edad," or, "In love, there is no age." The comments were few and far between on both of Piper's channels, though nearly every single one was flirtatious, despite Piper being 10 years old at the time of making the account. Whether she knew it or not, this little girl was making content catered to some of the worst people that this planet has to offer, and it's likely that she had no idea she was doing so. I mean, how could she? She was just a kid, right? Understandably, people began to wonder who this girl actually was, along with what her story is, as if she genuinely was just a kid, then being in contact with people like this would clearly be a danger to her. But it didn't take long for the cracks to start emerging. For starters, across Piper's videos, it's blatantly obvious that different girls are shown in many uploads, sometimes famous actresses, often from clips taken from The Amanda Show, as well as Lazy Town, while others are of child YouTube stars, typically taken from their older uploads when they were at their youngest. And most strangely of all, Piper used a similar picture across the Isabel Piper and Piper Rocks account, with this girl being shown in a good chunk of uploads, and Piper herself claims that this is in fact her. This is Piper, though in reality it appears to be yet another child actress, and one who looks nothing like other videos that Piper also claimed to be of her. It didn't add up, as not only did these girls clearly differ from each video, but most of these girls were easily identifiable as other people clearly not named Piper. The hole in these channels were undeniable. Piper could not have been who she claimed to be, but that didn't prove anything, as maybe Piper was just pretending to be these young girls and using the clips just to practice her editing or even fantasizing of being famous. However, any hope of that being a possibility seemed to end on March 25th, 2018, when she would upload the video "In the Woods Editing My Video," which was the first time that Piper would reveal her voice.
Hi guys. Well, I was editing some of my videos and I forgot and left the camera on, so thought I'd upload it and show you guys. Hope you like it. See you later, baby.
Ooh.
That sounds like either you want me to tell you what that put me in mind? Herbert the Perv.
Oh.
Does it not? Family Guy. It sounds like either an old man. Somebody's just trying to disguise the voices.
It sounded like a woman.
Did it sound like a woman?
It did to me, but my ears hear different.
Or also, could it possibly be
or one
political?
of those like
I'm trying to do like, what's the political correct way to say like somebody who's like
it, or because at first I was like, is that one of those little voice box thingies?
No.
But then I was like, no. And then I was like, is that like an older woman? And then it kind of was like, or it could be like an older man with like just a softer tone,
or just
voice.
trying to disguise his voice,
or trying to disguise his voice or something.
Yeah.
But whatever, it's not a 11-year-old child, of course. Nah. And then with it being like different,
it's too raspy. Even though it's, hi guys,
yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying?
Very weird.
Piper's voice was an obvious fake, and was clearly just someone making their voice sound higher, and then pitching it up in post-production. It sounded completely unnatural, and nothing like what you would expect from a 10-year-old girl. In fact, just pitching down the voiceover exactly 2 notches makes it sound much more realistic.
Well, I was editing some of my videos and I forgot and left the camera on.
And you can start to tell that it's seemingly a more mature and masculine sounding voice, clearly of someone attempting to sound childish and like a little girl. Between the lies told about who she actually was and the jarring fake voiceovers, which would end up being used multiple times,
I thought you were the Candyman.
It left many questions, but one resounding truth, that Piper was not who she claimed to be. And in all likelihood, she wasn't even a child. So essentially, what we have here is a person making hypersexual edits from clips of girls no older than 12 years old, while pretending to be a young girl themselves. All the while, creeps are flocking to the channel to hit on this person who they believe is a kid. The whole thing is a confusing mess of darkness that leaves no clear answers as to what is actually happening here.
That's what that's one thing I say with you. You be having to remind me, like, you don't know who are behind these accounts, especially those who've failed to really show who they are. Mm-hmm. As far as even just putting a picture on a profile or even have a video posted, like whether it's Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, it's a lot of people hide behind accounts and they do cowardly, weird things on the internet.
Yeah,
and it's low key whether they seeking attention, failing to get attention in their real life, miserable and want to inflict that they same miserable mentality onto you. That's what she be like. She be like, I don't know why you be going back and forth. Like if you just, and sometimes literally I would just go scope,
wasting your time.
And I find out, and I'd be like, see, look at. And she'd be like, see, that's what I told you. I don't know why you give these people your energy. And I'll be like, bruh. Because I literally, when some people be trying to go back and forth, I'd be like, please just have a video or photo. Let me really just see. And then it'd be like, then you go see, you'd be like, bro, you really the one be trying to argue with me, tell me? Like, come on.
But
bro.
honestly, I'd be like.
Dirty, stanky looking.
But honestly, yeah, I'd be like, just don't do it. Don't go back and forth. I'm not going back and forth.
And these the people be trolling on the internet. Literally.
And yeah, and you have people like this that hide behind these accounts or have these fake, like, whatever, because they sick in the head. And people do get on the internet and say sick stuff and do stuff like this. And you just like, why?
Can't feed into it.
Why?
It was initially theorized that this could be some kind of catfish scam, potentially made so that the owner of the account could solicit relations with the people watching these videos, believing that this person was in fact a little girl. Or perhaps even more likely, these pages were set up to catch predators in the act, using these channels as their in to expose those actively pursuing relations with minors, which was honestly what I hoped this was all about, as it seemed like the best case scenario. But with no leads and no mention of the channels across the web, it was really anyone's guess. However, upon finding the channel back in December, another mysterious set of channels had been gaining traction in the early months of 2021, and much to my surprise, the channels looked a lot like Piper's. In total, as many as 6 to 8 other channels were found, posting the same style of content, with the main ones being Piper Bynes, along with Christina Black and Nicole W., each of which featured the same distinctly crude style of editing and sexual content. And from the eye test alone, these channels were clearly related in some way to Isabel Piper and Piper Rocks, as they featured practically identical videos and subject matter, with the Piper Bynes channel having been active as recently as 3 months ago, while the Nicole W. channel was active as far back as 10 years ago, further adding proof that Piper could not have been a child, as the whole timeline of this rabbit hole is older than a decade, and is still active as of 2021. So in all likelihood, she could not have been 10 years old just a few years ago, as she claimed. To me, this longevity totally removes any thoughts of this being some kind of ARG, and it also casts doubt on the page having been made to catch predators, as typically those operations wouldn't stretch out as long as this one had. Plus, I don't think this would really be the most effective way to do so to begin with. But if it all was real, if someone really was just making this content, then its true purpose must be something of great concern, a concern that had been felt far before me. Though I first became aware of this mystery back in December of this year, in reality it had been investigated nearly since its inception, making the rounds across Spanish YouTube, as well as being posted to various forum sites here and there, with many concerned about its deeper meaning. And out of all the sites that would host discussions about this ring of channels, the one that would take it most seriously would wind up being 4chan. There, interest would grow so large that a group would be set up solely for the purpose of investigating the matter, in what they dubbed as Pipergate, with their research being cultivated into a 33-page report published back in August of 2020, where the true identity of Piper would be revealed. In the report, the investigators would outline how they found the email associated with the Piper Bynes YouTube channel, along with a few other accounts under the same name on both Twitter and Facebook, both of which having since been deleted. The group would then perform a reverse search on the email, leading them to a man named William Glenn Whitaker, who, with some more digging, was found to have a plethora of other emails, with those being directly affiliated to the Nicole W. and Christina Black channels, along with the Isabel Piper and Piper Rocks channels as well, the channels where I began to fall down this rabbit hole. Our suspicions were correct. These pages were not run by a 10-year-old girl. They were not run by Piper, and instead they were run by William Whitaker, a 65-year-old man. He was behind these sexualized...
65.
I told you. I said, my bad. I told you, it gave me Herb. It gave me very much Herbert vibes.
65? Bro.
I said it sounded like an older man.
Yeah,
trying
most
to
definitely. I
decide.
just said my ears in the beginning with the other pitch sound like a old raspy woman, but then when he changed the pitch, I was like, yeah, that definitely is a man. You do not have to pull that up.
That is that man.
That's crazy, bro. 65, and he don't get no sleep.
He don't. Look at them eyes, bro.
That's sick.
Look at the eyes, bro. He is is not somebody who's trying to catch. is somebody who's looking for his community. He's looking for others.
I don't know what he's looking
Because
for, but
they flock in package. They flock. Where you find one, you will find another.
And what's even like that's sick in itself for you to even be making content like that, doing stuff like that, having that like mentality. But then the people that's commenting, like thinking that this is a little girl.
They don't think they know what it is. They don't think it's
You think they don't?
trust and believe they know it's not a. They are amongst each other. Basically, they could be using code. It could be code.
But
What is your age? Oh, I'm 19. Basically, be like, oh, like, are you grown? Oh, yeah, I'm grown. How old are you? Could be code for what's the youngest you'll go for.
I just don't think like that.
I'm telling you, like,
No,
I'm not saying I think like that.
I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying I didn't like when I said what I said. I wasn't thinking like you're thinking because I'm like. I just couldn't even like fathom people like, oh well, we know like, hey, I want to like, bro, really,
bro, that world is one of the most dangerous worlds to go like.
But I guess they would know that not like the type of editing, like
them darkroom worlds,
like the advancement of it in a sense, like even though it's still you could tell that it's fake. But the investment of it in they know a 10-year-old child probably not doing that.
Also, you can just tell, like,
it's just the type of content,
it's
like
low-key common sense.
What it is, yeah.
I'm saying common sense. You click on the video, be like, this ain't no 10-year-old child.
But yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? The subject matter, even the green screen edits and all that stuff, like you just know. But it's a sick individual who's looking for other sick individuals, and then they probably talk on a dark web, on a black market, trying to they do that stuff, man. Come on,
I know
now.
people do that most definitely.
Videos. He was the one taking clips from little girls' YouTube channels and using them for his disturbing edits and pretending to be them. And somehow, it only gets worse from here, as William wasn't just your typical old man, making memes on the internet for fun. In fact, he was a felon, having been arrested back in 2002, after being caught with CP. William Glenn Whitaker was a registered sex offender, and he still is to this day. But the story doesn't end there, as this wouldn't be the end of William's legal troubles. Upon his release in the Tampa area, William would stay local and pick up a new line of work as he started his own talent agency that went by the name of Wizard Productions Modeling Agency, with his specialization being in child stars. He would lure in families with the promise of
even the name Wizard Production. You could just go like my thing is branding is everything. I specialize. I understand branding. I understand marketing. When you say wizard, who's more likely to be into wizard stuff? Kids and just weird, like not weird people, but people that you get what I mean.
I'm weird. I mean, I don't think
I'm talking about wizardry, like the obsession,
but not that
with
type
it.
of weird. Child.
So to name your shit Wizard Production, it already screams out
like
kids.
I swear,
because I'm not a grown man. Said, yeah, I'm finna go model for Wizard Productions.
And then, if I walk in and see you, like, let's be real.
A lot of people who let me not go down.
And you wasn't even supposed to.
I know a lot of older people that actually do photography that they do resemble this man. He's into photography. He's into editing. That's what. This is his lane. This is what he specializes in: photography, video editing. He understands all of that. That's what.
I got you.
Being in child stars, he would lure in families with the promise of stardom and connections to the music industry, something that would both excite parents and children alike. With this, he would then bring the children to his home and record them singing and dancing, with the promise that the tapes would then be sent to higher-ups in the music industry. But
He was getting that shit for his selfish own reasons, bro. What? No, I'm not going to your house. Don't you have a studio? If you have a real, but that in itself, and everything would be supervised. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there are agencies.
It's what I was talking about earlier.
When
I was talking about like protecting kids.
Oh yeah.
Like there's no way in.
You wanted to model though.
Yeah, I went to a lot of. I didn't never go to nobody's house, but I went to a lot of.
Yeah, but you also was supervised. Cause you say your auntie used to take you?
My cousin.
Oh, okay.
My cousin.
But you said you was heavily supervised.
Yeah.
You always had a adult with you.
I always had an adult with me. It was
never let you go behind closed doors by yourself.
No.
With another stranger.
No.
I'm personally not going to your home.
Not going to nobody's home. Man, my mama child, why I gotta go to your house? What am I going to your house?
We're not in the studio with multiple people around. There's no point. There's no, he was recording this so he can have his own little sick fantasy, his own little sick videos that he can have in his collection.
Yeah.
With the promise that the tapes would then be sent to higher-ups in the music industry. But in reality, William had no connections. All he was a sex offender. And given his status, the business was completely unlicensed, a total scam, and was 100% illegal. He had set the whole thing up to obtain these tapes. What he did with those recordings is something that is still unknown to this day, though it has been theorized that he likely used them for his own personal use, as well as potentially having sold them to other people in the area, as well as across the web, an idea that seemed to have been insinuated in the news report. The lies would eventually catch up to William in 2005, as the police busted the operation and forced him to close his doors on Wizard Productions. Though oddly enough, it never seemed like he was given any jail time for this, and it seemed his only real legal repercussion was having to close the business, despite...
Technically, he violated his... So he should have went to...
I don't know what it is.
Because if you're an offender and you're on the registry, you can't be a... And especially like... If you haven't checked out a registry before, check it out because you will understand like there's levels to it. Because you remember I went on there, I was just like, dang, I didn't know they have some people flagged as extremists. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I thought, you know what I'm saying? But there's levels to even being on the registry. So to me, he violated, so he should have went to jail for being around kids. Because technically, as soon as you're not allowed to be, especially when you're on the registry and you're on there for minors, you're not allowed to be in a radius of minors anyways. So for you to even have a business and a corporation subject and garnered to minors, you're violating those rights.
Yeah, I would think so, but I don't know what it is when it comes to like these like the law behind.
I'm saying,
like,
yeah. My bad. I'm not trying to interrupt you.
Yeah. But the law behind, like, when it comes to, like, predators and stuff like that, because we've seen time and time again where it's, like, so, like, they'll do something, they'll be on the registry, they'll do something else, but it's, like, very, like a little slap on the wrist. Like, it don't be, like, I'm like, do they have to physically... Instead of, like, do they have to physically for y'all to, like...
But if you say you can't be within a certain radius,
right.
Or if not, you go back to jail, but then you find out they've been around, they violated the order, right?
It shouldn't even get to that point.
Yeah.
Of it having to be more than what, you know? I don't get it, though, but...
Despite his literal history with CP. Because of this, William was released to the public, having been practically unheard of since. Well, that would be until he'd make his start on YouTube, with the bizarre set of channels that we know today. The report was scathing, and most importantly, accurate, as I performed a background search on William myself, and the emails matched exactly. I mean, one of his was literally called Piper Rocks.
It showed that he was registered in Mississippi and Florida, so he's in the South.
Hard, clearly in reference to the account he had made. With that in mind, perhaps the most worrying part of these channels is the fact that many of the girls that William has been showcasing most recently are YouTubers, most of which with minimal subscribers, and the vast majority, if not all of them, have their channels centered around music. with them all appearing to have dreams of making it big in the industry. Which is worrisome, as this just so happens to be the same industry that William had preyed on before. Plus, to make the whole situation just that much worse, a decent amount of William's videos have made it onto YouTube Kids, literally putting William in front of both predators and children alike. But even after all this, and through all the twists and turns, there is still one glaring question. Why? Why was William doing this? What was he gaining from making these videos? That, for now, is the question that has yet to have a definite answer. In the 4chan report, it was theorized that this whole thing was a front for distributing CP, something that, given William's history, is definitely possible. The investigators claim that this was done using a series of links posted within the description of the channel's uploads, while using the comment section to initiate the transaction, in which the predators would be invited into a mega chat room dedicated to sharing CP. And that was just half the operation. The rest would take place on Twitter, where William too had fake Piper accounts, only these ones were far more suggestive than any of his videos. On these accounts, commenters would flock to leave their flirtatious messages behind, a few of whom the 4chan report had proven to be predators. Because of this, it was again theorized that CP was somehow being distributed throughout these social media outlets, as both clearly housed numerous creeps. But for me, this is far from a solidified conclusion, as the links supposedly used in the description of the video are no longer there, potentially having been removed after the report was released. Though despite this, William continued posting his usual content for nearly a year after, without the use of this apparent elaborate system, which does cast doubt on this theory, as what would his incentive be to keep posting? And unfortunately, no tangible proof was offered showing any one of these alleged chat rooms. And along with this, the Twitter accounts that William used are long gone, having been suspended around the time of the report. But through the screenshots that are shown, it honestly just seems like a bunch of predators trying to hit on a child, with the investigators themselves stating that they're not sure how this system works. And with the accounts now gone, at the moment it's unfortunately impossible to verify its true purpose. For those reasons, it's a theory that I can't fully buy into, and not to mention the unfortunate truth that there are much easier and far less obvious ways of sharing CP. And though it's horrible to think about, it's no secret that CP is easier than ever to both send and receive through countless means across the web. But at the moment, I'm also struggling to buy this theory, for the reason that despite the whole cover being supposedly blown, and the system on YouTube being quote-unquote figured out, William just kept making these videos. He never missed a beat. And with that system of links being no longer used, at least as of this year, well, that points to the idea that William isn't doing this for other people, but rather he's doing it for himself. That makes me wonder if perhaps this is all just a kink for him, a disgusting, sickening, vile fetish, where he gets off to pretending to be a little girl, almost like a twisted form of roleplay. Or maybe he just likes the thought of a little girl acting this way, the way that he'd most likely want them to act towards him. It's also been proposed that there could be a grooming scheme involved, potentially with the content being made to draw in both predators and children alike, which it has done a good job of doing so. But there is yet to be any actual evidence of this, and though it may seem plausible, there is at the moment nothing substantial to back it up. The truth is that we don't know what compelled William to make these channels and start posting this concerning content over 10 years ago. His motives are to this day a mystery. And it's a mystery that might just last forever, as William has taken it to his grave. According to the offender registry site in Mississippi, the state where he has lived in now for years, William Glenn Whitaker has passed away, with it likely having happened in just the last 3 months, something that is backed by the fact that he hasn't uploaded since March of 2021. The registry doesn't say what happened or how, but what is certain is that William is gone, and thankfully he is never coming back. The Piper channels were concerning from the jump, and made even more worrisome given the revelation of who created them. William and his channel should have never had a place on YouTube, especially not kids' YouTube. Yet William went practically unchecked. And it's strange because we may never know the true danger that these channels posed, if they posed any at all. But it's still a disturbing situation nonetheless, and it's at least a relief that these channels will now lie abandoned until their inevitable removal. But in terms of the whole scope of this investigation, I would say that it's far from over, as there are other players discussed in the 4chan reports, along with the whole Twitter side of this, that I will cover at a later date, and hopefully with some more digging we can finally determine once and for all what William's true intentions were. But until then, Pipergate will remain one of YouTube's strangest rabbit holes. Big thank you to my gold tier patrons and my...
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole, bro.
Definitely is.
Wow.
And although I agree with him, as far as like, I do feel like he was doing it more so for himself. It still like brought in other people that had that same mindset as well. Which is so sick to even like.
So you don't think as far as like he was doing to like luring others?
Not necessarily. I mean, after a while, you kind of know that it does bring in others.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I really think that it was for his sick fetish. It was more so for him. Like.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was for other people as well. But it was more like, I'm doing this for me. Because, like, of all platforms.
I don't know.
It just don't make sense. That's some sick stuff.
But the only reason why I'm like, is it possibly like he was seeking alluring? Because YouTube has had an issue with people doing things and seeking minors and other.
Well, yeah, not
groups.
taken away from that. Yeah, I do agree.
So they have. I'm just saying, in the past they have run into issues with, and that's the reason why a lot of things have changed, and that's the reason why the guidelines tries to keep getting stricter. But the stricter YouTube gets, the more that they're gonna try to do certain things to hide.
And both can be true at the same time. He could be doing it for himself, and he can be doing it like it can go hand in hand. Yeah. Regardless of the fact, whatever you break it down to, chunk it up to, is some sick weird, dark, weird stuff. Yes. Like, and there's so many people like that, sadly.
Sadly, man.
Please protect your kids.
Facts.
I just don't trust people. Like, I don't understand why people, when it comes to your kids, but yeah, whatever, man.
But hey, man, y'all spam us up in the comments, man. Let us know y'all thoughts for us about it in the comment section down below, man. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are.
Kid and C.
We are.
No time to kick it, got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners.